to this strange life with Jugz, JD, and Anthony on the lovely set of guys.
Hello, welcome to This Strange Life. My name's JD Strange. Today we've got a very special guest. But first of all, as you all know, we are Bangkok's only podcast, and we're the only contemporary podcast that use words such as
hepatitis,
chemist, veteran,
connoisseur.
Has anybody pressed the fucking record? Oh yeah, record's on. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
We are recording. Okay, this is This Strange Life.
Your minds are in the fucking gutter, kids. I'd just like to say right now. I mean, I was expecting to talk about the higher level things like the soul,
God,
the grace of God, the sanctuary of the church, shit like that. But whatever.
John, you're on this strange life. We stay far away from that shit, and we make jokes about anything and everything.
yeah,
It's
Really?
the weird.
And we do have a list. No, we have a list of questions. I think Mickey has the first question.
Well, okay.
Before you have a fucking question, if you're really in the goddamn gutter, let me tell a joke, may I?
Let's hear a joke.
Now,
Go on.
this is Farmer from Kansas. He's never had sex before. Middle-aged man, never married, working too goddamn hard. Goes to Kansas City and he hires a fucking prostitute. She says, well, what do you want to do? He goes, well, I don't know. I mean, ma'am, I never fucking had sex before. She goes, well, I mean, there's all kinds. How about 69? And he goes, well, ma'am, I think that's let's do it. So they get in position, and the woman farts, and he goes, whoa, that's terrible. And he gets back to it. She farts again, and back to it. She farts one more time and says, ma'am, no offense, ma'am, but I just don't think I can take 66 more of these.
Well, the big surprise there, John, was that he could count, being from Kansas.
Well, listen, hang on. Farmers can fucking count, man. They got acres, they got plots, and they got crops. They can fucking count. But that's all. Just count.
That's all they're good for.
Right, John.
Right.
So we thought that maybe a good way to start the show would be to ask, what is the weirdest, most fucked up thing you've ever heard about yourself, true or not? You've ever read about yourself? There must be a few.
Please, people.
We caught him off guard. Look at that. He's
Yeah, fuck. Did you fucking ever?
Well, we've got
I'm
loads
not
more.
sure I've heard.
We can circle back
I'm
on
not
that.
sure I've ever heard. I'm not sure I've ever heard anything about myself which wasn't true. Fuck. I mean, Jesus. I mean, keep in mind, you're talking to the man who was accused of murder, rape, assassination of a fucking president of a country. Just got out of goddamn jail in the Dominican Republic for bringing 2 or 3 too many guns into the goddamn country. I'm married to an ex-prostitute who spent 10 years on the goddamn streets. Please, how about another guy? Because really, how do I choose? How do I fucking choose? I'm just saying, all right?
Well, you spoke about being banged up. Where can I ask you whereabouts in the world you've been banged up before, and whereabouts you currently?
Be what now? Banged up? What do you mean banged up?
Like where have you been arrested? Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking about
banged up is arrested.
Brothels here. Not brothels.
Fuck. Are you serious? I've been arrested 21 goddamn times in 11 countries.
11 countries, right? That's what I wanted to know.
Yes. Okay. So, number one, if you want to get arrested, do not ever choose the Dominican Republic. I mean, I have been in jails, and I've been in jails and prisons, and nothing can possibly compare to the Dominican Republic. Now, if you are a connoisseur of jail time, well, fuck yes, go there. You're gonna love that
It's
shit.
like the fine line of.
But But let me tell you about my greatest fucking jail experience, and that was in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, in 1974. I was arrested for, can't remember what. Oh, I was selling jewelry. Yes, I was without a license. Minor offense, except they confiscated all of my product. Anyway, 14 people in a single fucking cell.
Oh.
20 by 20. We had to take turns sleeping on the floor. However, I'd never had more fun in my fucking life because number one, no, hang on. The sergeant in charge of the jail is just 5 feet away from the cell, right? He's in the desk there doing his job. Everybody, it's like party fucking central. He had money. They were bringing in beer. They didn't bring any fucking women. I was in jail in Guatemala. They brought women in. Why? I had more money than God with me. Now, here's the interesting thing. In third world countries, they might shank you for an offense. But you got some goddamn money in your cell. Not even the guards would dream of stealing it. I don't know why. It's from the grace of God as far as, but in Guatemala, my head of security, I was arrested. I was there for 40 some days in the Guatemalan prison. My head of security managed to get $10,000 in cash into my cell. Fuck me. Now listen, I didn't at that time, I speak pretty good language, Spanish now. At that time, I didn't speak well enough to understand the goddamn television. I couldn't watch television. Couldn't even converse with people. No one spoke fucking English. So I just fucked women all day long. No, listen, the guards will bring you anything you fucking want. I never asked for a behead. I never asked for that. Listen, maybe, I don't know. I just asked for strawberries, Big Macs, fuck me. And listen, I had Big Macs for the whole goddamn prison. I mean, I did. $10,000 would go a long way in a Guatemalan prison. I was sorry to leave. When they finally, listen, by the way, when they came to get me, I thought I was going to be killed. They didn't tell. At 6 o'clock in the morning, I was rousted out of bed by black-suited fucking special forces with masks. I thought, fuck, they're going to shoot my ass. They took me out into the fucking corridors, and I know they're going to shoot me. But instead, they hustled me into a fucking SUV, hustled me off to the airport, where 3 hours later, I was back in America. That was some luck. But yeah, that was a good experience. But you got to know what you're doing in Guatemala. Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, anywhere on the goddamn border. Get your ass arrested, you're going to have more fun than God. The last, I used to say it was America, but now I know for a fact, Dominican Republic, very bottom. Number 2 from the bottom, America. Ain't no fun in the goddamn American jail. I've been there many times.
No, I'll tell you that. I've been to jail in America. It fucking sucks.
Yes! It's like fucking sterility. It's sterile. It's like no fun whatsoever. It's cold.
Isn't it rife with drugs?
They keep it cold.
Or is that?
I'm sorry?
Is it rife with drugs, or is that an urban myth?
Is it what?
Is it rife with drugs? The
jails?
Yeah.
Not in the ones I was in. Not in fucking America. Fuck no, dude.
No, that's weird, isn't it? Because that's what you like to believe. I don't know if it's
weird or not. I'm just telling you my goddamn experience.
No, yeah, I don't doubt it at all. But you know, when you watch these prison shows and stuff, you know, the dramas, it's all, that's what it is. It's all drugs and stuff, isn't it?
Listen, I don't fucking watch television. I don't know what's going on in television shows or fantasies or imaginations. Here's the problem with these goddamn directors of these things. They've got no fucking experience. Right. They watch another program and go, oh, that's reality. Let me make a fucking movie about it. No, I'm sorry. It isn't that way at all. It is not that fucking way. Now in Guatemala,
like Game of Thrones.
Yes, you can get drugs in Guatemala. You can get drugs in Mexico. We were on, Janice and I, and this is 8 months ago. We just got out of our Dominican Republic jail. I wasn't in long enough to find out if you could get drugs. It was only 4 fucking days. That's all. By the way, horrific. No mattresses, no running goddamn water, no toilets. You shit in a fucking milk carton in the middle of the goddamn floor.
Oh,
I mean,
Fucking hell.
it is not fun.
a bit
It
pungent.
is not fun.
So,
They threw a goddamn drunk into the cell who the first thing he did is knock over the cut off fucking door. Well, let me tell you something. We were all up against the goddamn wall for the next 20 hours. So no, I would not. I just wouldn't recommend it. I really wouldn't.
No, you'd advise not to get arrested in the Dominican Republic. Let's just say that.
I wouldn't advise it. I would, unless you're a connoisseur of jails. I mean, if you want to go, yeah, I want to experience the fucking worst. Well, listen, I've been arrested
close-knit male
21
bonding,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Well,
tourists.
I've been arrested.
How tourists like that.
I've actually been arrested. I've been arrested more than 21 times. I've spent 21 times in jail. Listen, Dominican Republic, bottom of the barrel. Next would be America. Don't ever get arrested in America.
Yeah.
Tops, Mexico. Fuck. Party goddamn Central. Belize, I was arrested in Belize. Now, man, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I was only in for a while, and probably not. I mean, had I been in for more than a few days, I would have probably expired. But I don't know. But yeah, Mexico, fuck me. You want to get jail experience, people? Fly your ass to Mazatlan, Mexico City, Cancun. Get into a bar fight. You only do 3, 4, 5 days max, and experience that shit. That's what jail is all about.
So speaking of bar fights, you went on about bar fights. You had a bar called Studio 54. Is that correct?
I had
You
one.
had a, yeah, you still have one? Am I one of the two? You
I read
had a
that
bar
you-
down.
You turned an ex-brothel into a bar, Studio 54 in Belize.
Well, I mean, listen, I've never told anybody that. How the fuck did you guys find out? But anyway, no.
The Secret Service.
No, I'm not commenting on that for a whole bunch of goddamn reasons. And fuck you people for even mentioning it, all right?
Is that the end of that?
Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Question then.
If this is not goddamn clear, then I don't know how else
It's a
to
full
make it
stop.
clear.
Oh shit. Shit.
Okay, full stop on that one. Oh, he took a big drink of that one. Okay, next question.
Yeah, I did. I mean, fuck you
James,
people.
James, you want to ask?
Janice, why did you even schedule with these motherfuckers? All right, I'm just asking. Sorry. My apologies. I did not mean to have
Okay,
that.
scratch that
outburst.
question off the list. We'll
Right,
toss
okay.
that one away.
We can cut that out. Don't worry. No.
Thank you very much.
Right.
James,
Well, I
but
don't
you
know where
got-
we can go now. James, come on, rescue us, please.
Yeah, we're all, sorry, John, we're all locked down here. We're all in our bunkers, our respective bunkers in Bangkok and wherever we are. And we're being told by governments that we should self-isolate, that we should be concerned about going outside. Is fear the new virtue? And are people being told to be fearful? And is that a way of controlling people? Is this a new thing?
Wow. I mean, I was told this is going to be a very lighthearted conversation. Of course, people fear. Fear is what motivates 99% of humanity.
And the unknown.
And what does 99% of humanity consist of? Sheep. People. And sheep are fearful creatures. That 1% are the people who think and look objectively and make their own goddamn decisions, irrespective of what the government or authority or your teachers or even your fucking parents may tell you. Those are that 1% that look around and go, you know, my parents told me not to take drugs, but I swear to God, my first hit of heroin was like being kissed by God. And my first hit of LSD showed me a mirror into my own fucking soul. And the person who introduced me to methamphetamines got me through college because I would not have passed had I not been able to stay up for 9 days straight prior to the exams. No, I mean, fuck me, people. I don't know what to tell you other than fear is the killer. I mean,
Yeah,
listen,
fear is a motivator,
listen,
yeah.
I don't know if any of you have read The Prince by Machiavelli.
I have, yeah.
Good man. So then you know for a fact that this motherfucker, who was not a stupid man by any stretch of the imagination, said the following: is it better to rule through love or through fear? And he went through an entire goddamn chapter explaining it, and in the end, it came out pretty goddamn clear. You want to rule through fear. You want to rule through fear, and that's what governments are doing today. Not just governments, everybody.
Yeah, it's funny
or
that
any of you,
brought
or any
you
of you
brought up the
motherfuckers.
historical aspect, yeah, because I've been looking at history too, and it seems like history has been repeating itself quite a bit. When you're looking at how, past civilizations have done things, why civilizations have fallen, it seems like it's coming in full circle today. Just don't learn.
Oh, please, God. Everything comes in for a circle over and over and over and over and fucking over. Don't think the full circle begins or ends with your sorry lives. You are not that important. I hate to tell you that. No, you are simply part
John,
of the process.
I read this thing, like when you're talking about taking methamphetamine and stuff. I read this this thing about you where you took enough DMT that you ended up behind a garbage can, hearing voices telling you to constantly drink Coca-Cola, and that you believe that you haven't come down from that trip. Are you still coming down from that?
It's a real thing.
I would like to say right here and now, fuck you very much for that question. All right. Yes. How did you fucking find that shit? Well, that ain't published anywhere. I mean, I'm just curious, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, okay, here's what fucking happened.
And Coca-Cola's pretty good, but...
No, it haven't. It wasn't just DMT. First of all, I had been on LSD for days. I liked LSD at the time. I was smoking more weed than you could fucking carry. Had snorted enough methamphetamine to keep a horse awake for a month, and so on. And then I overdosed massively. Here's what happened. If you listen, you guys know this. You take enough hallucinogenics and other drugs, your sense of time has no goddamn meaning. So someone came over with this goddamn orange substance, which did nothing for me. I thought it was at least, I didn't have a goddamn watch, seemed like 20 fucking minutes. Could have been 5 seconds. I don't goddamn know. So I took more. Nothing happened. I took more. Nothing happened. I took more. Then suddenly, and I was with at least 5 fucking people around a round table. Suddenly, the table started spinning and going up into the air. All 5 of us climbed onto the table. And this DNA spiral took us up into the stratosphere when we were looking down at the Earth 100 miles below us, and all of us clutching each other. And then suddenly, the world, the universe, reality shattered into a million fucking pieces. A million. It's just like shattered. And suddenly I was there alone, with the exception of this one woman. Her name was Chancey White. I'd actually been an ex-girlfriend of mine some 15 years earlier, I think. Anyway, she was there. And we were in my house listening to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And anyway, everything settled down, and I went on with my life. And many years later, I was in line at a bank, and someone tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and I'm sitting back in that same fucking house in St. Louis, Missouri, still dripping.
What?
And I did this more times than I can fucking count.
You almost lived a life.
Lifetimes, over and over and over. Now, during that first trip, I don't have any clue what's real about that anymore. I really don't, people. I'm sorry. It's all a mystery to me.
Yeah,
But
it's
during
like-
that first
it's like
trip,
Inception.
what's that?
I'm just saying, it's like it's layers upon layers upon layers. What's true and what isn't, you know?
Yeah, so, but during that first trip, I do remember this, and people later on verified it, at least in my current lifetime. I keep looking over my shoulder going, if someone taps me on the shoulder, I'm going to shoot them in the head. But anyway, so during that, I left by myself, went downtown St. Louis. I was hiding behind garbage cans, literally, because the world, it seemed, was after me. Not just the world. God himself was after me. And for all the omnipotence of God, he could not actually see me. He had to hunt for me. And I think he found me at the back end of that alley. I ran out of the alley and into a bar. Now, as I entered the bar, keep in mind, I'm a man who is stark, raving mad by this time. I'm sure my eyes were as big as fucking dinner plates. I'm looking ragged. Who knows? I walk into the bar, everybody turns and looks at me. Well, who wouldn't? Let's think about it, okay? From this perspective, there was a telephone booth. You guys don't remember. You don't even have goddamn public telephones anymore, probably. Anyway, there was a telephone right inside to the left. So I go, oh my fuck, they recognize me. I want to pretend. So I turned, got the telephone book, which you guys have probably never seen, a fucking telephone book. Nevertheless, I looked at it, and it was no longer in alphabetical order. It started with the Q's, and then went to the R's, and then the B's, and then the J's. So I knew from that, God has found me. And from that point, I don't know what's real anymore, people. I wish I did. See, what happened is when the world reality shattered as we were on top of that table, 100 miles above Earth, I have never managed to put it back together again. And even today, people, I'm not entirely sure what's real. I really don't have a fucking clue. I wish I did. Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about this.
I kind of wanted to touch up on this because coming back down, like, you know, and thinking about it, I visited your website, whoismcafee.com, and I read an article about how you practice humility, as you would say, kind of breaking yourself down into like a shattering the ego is what it was. And you would kind of get into these different personalities and go out on the street and try different personalities to see how you can, you know, fit.
These were not.
How
these
does
were
that
not,
work? Can you explain that?
These were not different personalities. They weren't at all. I purposely, and this is after I had hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. I would go out multiple times a year to various cities. The last time that I can remember was in, what the fucking name, some city on the coast in Santa Monica in California. And I was panhandling. What I would do, I would go into the city. I'd go into the shops that sold used clothes. And I would buy, in Santa Monica, I bought a ragged old full length coat, a hat, some ragged clothes, put them on. This is about 9 o'clock at night, and I sat in the alcove of a closed jewelry store. I got a cardboard box, and on the front I wrote broke and stupid. And in front of that I put 5 $100 bills. And I just sat there asking for spare change. I mean, at that night, the things I got were a couple of women came by, put $1 in my box and said, don't spend it all on booze. I go, I won't, ma'am, thank you. Yeah, I got maybe, I don't know, $15. And then a Porsche pulled up halfway down the block, a black Porsche, brand new, at least $150,000 car. Man got out dressed to the fucking hilt, rings, Rolex watch. By the way, if you see a Rolex watch, that bastard is not rich. He's just a wannabe rich. He's got a $500,000 and he's trying to pretend. No, rich people wear white gold Harry Winstons that look like they're worth $5 but cost $1 million. No, so anyway, I recognized who it was. And the other side, a woman got out with a diamond fucking necklace. So as they walked by, I said, "Can you spare some change?" And the man goes, "No, I don't have any money." And so I picked up one of the $100 bills that was in front of my box, and I handed it, said, "Here then." Now, the man just stopped and looked. The woman took the fucking $100 bill, put it in a goddamn purse. I swear to Christ. And the man goes, what's happening here? I go, "Well, I mean, you said you didn't have any money. I mean, so here I felt sorry for you." No, he goes, "No, what's happening?" So we actually had a real conversation. And I said, "Well, what's happening is I'm broken stupid, as it says here on my box. I asked for help. You refused to give it." Now, so the man goes, "But wait a minute, we give hundreds of thousands to the United Way every year." I go, "Well, they didn't give any of that to me." So anyway, we kept on going until the woman started crying. So the woman finally says, "Can we have another chance?" Of course, everybody gets a second chance. They walked back to their Porsche, that black gleaming Porsche, came back. I said, "Can you spare some change?" The woman gave me a dollar bill plus the 100 that she had taken. And I mean, shit like that would happen to me. You know, why did I do that? Because I am the most egotistical motherfucker on this goddamn planet. And if I do not humiliate myself, humble myself, well then I get out of control.
That's
And
good.
so-
I like that.
Good
a
advice
lot.
for
I like that.
people in it. I think a few young men would do well to know that right now. John, have you ever met
That's awesome.
Hunter S. Thompson?
Who?
Have you ever met Hunter S. Thompson?
I did, yes. Fuck me, I lived in Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got 5 minutes left on the call, by the way, John. We're on a free. If this runs out, can we open a new one? Or do you have to?
No, we can't. We can't. Unfortunately, I have another.
5 minutes
However-
left then. 5-minute countdown.
However, if you can work with Janice, my wife, at the Mrs. McAfee, or Mrs. McAfee at gmail.com,
Yeah.
tell her I specifically said I would be willing to talk to you motherfuckers for another few
that's
minutes.
lovely.
I'm sure she will work something
Hey.
Another day though.
He ran for mayor, didn't he?
out. He did, absolutely. That was a crazy motherfucker. Not quite as crazy as me, but yes, fuck me. I mean, he had a gunfight with his neighbor. Now in Colorado, that's not that unusual. I'd like to tell you now. It's a fairly common occurrence. Nevertheless, he did it.
It was his daily schedule. That
Yeah. Have you ever read his daily
Yeah,
drug
I was
intake,
gonna
John?
get that.
Let me tell you what intrigued me about Hunter Thompson.
Right.
It's his fear and loathing in Las Vegas. In the final pages, after all of the shit had gone down, he said in a few paragraphs, I wish I could repeat it word for word, I cannot. He said, if you look west, now he was in Las Vegas at the time, west is what? Arizona, California. If you look west with the right kind of eyes, you can see where that wave of hope that began in 69 with the hippies, with psychedelics, with LSD, with the beauty of the human soul. You can see where that wave crested, collapsed, and receded into nothing. Now, fuck me. Do you understand? I lived
that way.
through the 60s, the most beautiful, loving, and profound time of my life. I'm 74, and so I can't speak for all of human history. But it was full of love, acceptance, freedom, sex, joy, passion. And at the end of the 60s, it did in fact die, because the system in which it had germinated refused to let it live.
And
That's deep.
there's no chance of that coming back, do you think?
War on drugs, basically, wasn't it?
Well, while I'm still alive, there is a chance.
Cheers, John.
Yeah, cheers, John.
Attorney,
Yeah.
cheers. Advise you to drink.
John,
Thank you.
thank you so much, man.
All right.
Really appreciate it. If you'd told me
All right.
a few months ago that I would be speaking to John McAfee, I would have said, well, I'll
All right.
I am
Listen,
that happened.
listen, guys, I've got to run. We're over time. However, contact Janice. You guys been working with her. You know who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
She's got a heart. Tell her that I said I will do this again with you. Okay?
Awesome.
John,
Awesome.
thank you. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much,
Thank you.
I've
John.
got to run.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Take care.
Bye,
Bye, John. You know, I think he's probably still coming down from that high, you know, in some respects. So I think he did kind of answer my question.
Yeah, I thought that was a great. I really wanted to go into simulation theory then, but I just didn't dare. Like, I didn't know if you guys would want me to, but I wanted to go into God and simulation theory then.
Well,
Might have been
the
too-
thing that really surprises me, actually reflecting upon, this podcast, is he actually reminds me a little bit about, a little bit of each and every one of us. Like, he's 74 years old, right? But he has the spirit of a 40-year-old or of a 30-year-old, you know what I mean? And like when I live, like I'm 30, but I'm living like I'm drinking and, I'm smoking like I'm 18 or 19.
So which parts
you know
of
what
us
I
has
mean?
he got? I reckon he's got like the humor of Mike, the wordplay of James, the drinking ability, the drinking ability of
the
Jugz.
mindful of youth, the mindful of youth. You know what I mean? Like,
and the breasts of Paul.
You think you're young, but are you really young? No, but you can still be young if you want to.
I think the guy's clearly cheating death. You know,
He's evergreen, isn't
yeah,
he?
he's done so many drugs and stuff. And if you've seen or if you've looked at the cover of the book or kind of publications of him, like when he's in Belize and he's standing there, not so long ago, he's standing there with a couple of guns and he's in good physical shape as well, for a man at that time was probably 70, so he's cheated death in some ways. He's reclaiming his youth.
Shit, girl, for space. They said